He's angry, Tasteless.
Jaedong does not look too happy right now, that's for sure. SOS, cool as a cucumber. Introducing our players in the bottom right. Surprising everyone here. Playing so well. Up 2 games. Give it up for SOS. And in the upper right, the fan favorite here, the legend from Brood War, make some noise for Jaedong.
I think the crowd has really shown who they want to win.
Yeah, a lot of Jaedong support here.
He's got to stop this landslide before it's too late.
Well, if he loses here, it's the Jaedong curse, the curse of the Dong. Not the Kang curse anymore.
It's going to be interesting to see what SOS does here, because again, history is being made. The metagame in StarCraft 2 will be forever shifted after today.
You know, cannon rushes, it seems like they're the way to go. Maybe, you know, the North American server has it right.
That's right. Maybe they do, Artosis. As you can see, there's another hatchery first. The cannon rush may have been successful again.
That's right. And, you know, SOS definitely not going for that. Looks like it's going to be a hatchery first here.
Yeah, it's going to be a Nexus first here from SOS. And, you know, from here, we will not have any cannon tomfoolery.
Imagine if Jaedong went 3 hatcheries now and was playing the mind games here. And I think he might be. Look at this.
Yep.
He's saying, no, you're probably just going to expect me to play defensive. Take a Nexus first of your own. And Jaedong's saying, well, you know, I'm kind of smart myself. And looks like we are going to see that 3 hatchery play.
This is Jaedong saying, I am not backing down. I am not losing BlizzCon. I'm going to play my game, and I'm going to beat you.
SOS maybe expecting a spawning pool first here. Totally shifted gears now. Now this opener here from SOS is your bread and butter PvZ opener. The way he takes the game from here is really where the beauty of protoss is shown. How will he tech? Does he go for a few gateways and do a timing? Does he get the Stargates out? We're gonna have to wait and see.
Well, you know, I think a Stargate is probably a good choice, unless he's planning a 2-base all-in. What do you think, Paul? What is the best choice for him to use here on Whirlwind against Jaedong?
I think that SOS, if he was to play a regular game, like, for example, Deer, who Jaedong did beat, bear in mind, earlier on in this tournament, if he was to play a regular style, I think that's where Jaedong's going to be the most comfortable. I think SOS has to continue to ride the momentum from game number 1 and game number 2 and really just win by kind of outplaying and outsmarting Jaedong.
Now, you know, with a map like this, if Jaedong's allowed to play the way he would prefer to play, I mean, he is going to have a really easy time, I would think, winning this game. I mean, this is a big open map. Counterattack's very easy. By the way, we've seen Jaedong counterattacking more than anybody
That's right.
of our 16 players here today.
What is this probe in the top left building a pylon?
Oh
No.
my.
Oh, is he gonna do something
we may
sneaky?
see something here.
Well, he's definitely not expanding up there, so he's gonna maybe hide a pylon. You know, we do see Protoss players sometimes throw a probe into the corner of a map just so they can scout later on, but I would love to see him SOS show us something fancy.
He could possibly expand there, though. We've seen a few hidden expansions on 4-player bases so far in this tournament.
Actually, you do make a good point. With the map this big, in the upper left, that's the last place Jaedong would probably end up expanding to.
Yeah.
And maybe, let's say he makes a Nexus up there, he can suck up all the minerals. Jaedong doesn't even know how many expansions his opponent has it there, and that affects the decision making.
I think that's what we may see here. Well, we'll have to find out, but on the other side of things, Jaedong has decided to get a kind of early evolution chamber. He's decided to research +1 melee attack for his Zerglings, and then get the Zergling speed. What he'll be looking to do here, he's actually expecting to see a 3rd base, a normal game here. But if the 3rd base is on the other side of the map...
You know, one thing that's really interesting about Protoss, whether it's StarCraft 1 or StarCraft 2, is all the good top-end Protoss players, they always had to play differently from each other. You know, you get sometimes Terrans, you know, there's a certain way to do it, a right way to do it. I have seen so much guile, so much cunning coming out of SOS that it's blowing my mind here. Yeah, maybe we're going to have that probe in the upper left used. In the meantime, the Stargate play is the way to go, with a Void Ray clearing out any Overlords in close proximity.
Well, you know what? This could be part of the mind game of what that probe could be up to as well. SOS is very well known for going like 2 Stargate Void Ray a lot of the time against Zerg. It's something he's quite comfortable with.
You know, with 2 Stargate Void Ray, you can turtle for a long time.
Yes.
On that. And, you know, I think you guys might be right. Yeah, let's say he just turtles up and then just hides the space. And this is something that happens especially on Whirlwind. It's so big, and when you're both hugging the right side of the map in this case, you can end up completely ignoring that other side of the map. But instead, we're going to have, it looks like a pylon put right outside the Zerg's base.
Yeah, so it looks like he's going to move forward here, but he really doesn't have that much, does he? He's got the Mothership Core, he's got the Void Ray. He may be able to pick up a couple of Queens or so, but overall, this is not really anything dangerous.
And
oh my God, he's
God.
doing it.
This is the amount of mind games that we're seeing here. That forward pylon was to force more units out of Jaedong because SOS is not leaving his 2 bases, which is going to allow Jaedong to trick himself into thinking he's forcing SOS to stay in his base.
That is so beautiful. You're absolutely right, Artosis. He just goes in there to make that pylon, and Jaedong's thinking, what's this guy doing? I don't get this. He backs off, and now this expansion in the upper left is made. So here's the way the game should look. Let's say SOS gets what he wants. This is going to be a long, drawn-out game where Jaedong doesn't find out about that extra base in the upper left until it's too late. All of a sudden, Jaedong, thinking he's ahead or even, is in fact behind.
I think this really will question Jaedong's intelligence as this game goes on, but we'll come back to that in a second as the Void Rays have already picked up 1 Queen. They're going to get a second here.
Oh my God, so much damage being dealt already. In fact, they're going to get the Spore Crawler as well. The 2 Queens coming down, but they aren't enough to kill this all off.
And, you know, with the amount of damage he's taken there, this has got to be a very frustrating moment for Jaedong. I mean, that's just, the game looks so weird from the Zerg's perspective. I mean, it's really a big puzzle.
It is, and in fact, he's making a lot more Zerglings. He's even getting another macro hatch going down. And this is because he thinks he needs to keep denying a 3rd base. Because there's so many Void Rays, you just don't have enough to stop mass speedlings. But the 3rd base is in the top left.
Is there any way that, I mean, this is going to be so incredibly difficult to read into that this is there. Is there some way, somehow, Jaedong can figure this out?
Well, I mean, he just has to send 1 Ling rallied from the to the upper left and then down to the bottom right. And it looks like he might be doing some of that now. He's getting a little bit suspicious, but I gotta say, SOS has done such a good job of making it look like his rush strategy didn't work and then his 3rd base is gonna be late.
Well, we'll see if that does continue, because again, if Jaedong does send anything up there, it can be killed off rather quickly. Now, SOS, he's starting to get his macro going and taking the natural of SOS's 2nd main.
Okay, now he gets a cancel here on this Nexus, but SOS is going to be fine with that because SOS already has his 3rd up and running. This is actually a greedy 4th. Protoss is not, they're not supposed to be ever able to get 4 bases up this fast because the Zerg can just stop it. But if the Zerg doesn't know that there's another base, then, you know, there's no way for him to punish it.
But look at this. We have 16 Mutalisks on the way against someone that is going for charge lots at the moment, researching Storm, and only has Void Rays as anti-air.
Only 5.
That's very true. The Void Rays are a very particular unit. I mean, they can just be blindsided. When you are going for 4 bases, you don't have a lot of production until those are up and running.
Well, the Zerglings coming in for yet another cancel. Looks like they should be able to get it. But that leaves the Mutas to go into the main base with no anti-air.
Mutas tearing in now, destroying the cannon. The 3rd base is up and running. The probes are moving out now. A zealot charge may be denied.
And I think it's going to get denied here, and it does get denied. And also the Templar Archives.
Oh, is he going to get it before Storm finishes? It looks like he does.
He does. Now the Mutas are retreating. And, you know, one thing that I think SOS didn't anticipate was that Muta attack like that. We have 60 more Lings on the way. But that hidden base is still not detected here for SOS. And as long as that goes on, that's a source of income that Jaedong can't punish.
I can't help but feel, Artosis, and you can agree or disagree with this, but as SOS, I feel the biggest component missing was scouting. He's built a strategy, he's built an opening, but Where was the scouting? He had no idea what was really going on.
But this whole game is about not scouting. I mean, SOS hasn't actually didn't check what the tech was here for Jaedong, and then Jaedong didn't check for the hidden base here. The Nexus, by the way, taken out here as we are looking through the eyes of Jaedong right now.
You know, if I'm Jaedong, I might be thinking that I am way ahead at the moment. In fact, even catching some of these Phoenixes, a bit of sloppy play there from SOS.
And this would be really remarkable if Jaedong was to be able to win this game, considering his opponents had an upper hand for the majority of it.
Well, what SOS needs to do is bunker down and turtle and wait this out. It in a way should look like the last game that we saw. He just needs to defend, and let Jaedong think he has more of a lead than he actually does.
Well, you know what? Jaedong right now on 5 bases, getting infestors out, continuing to make mutas. If he gets one good fungal growth on all of these Phoenixes that are out there, he can just win the game.
And now SOS is going for his 5th base, which you so rarely get to see from a protoss. In this kind of a manner. If he gets this up, it could just turtle. He might be in good shape, but Jaedong is one of these guys with surgical precision with those mutas who could get in there and do the damage he needs to do.
Well, especially when he has 23 mutas. That's surgery with a sledgehammer, Tasteless.
So we have the Lings coming down now, probably try to deny this expansion yet again.
Well, they're not going to be able to get it, are they? With a couple more weapons, they should be able to push this back. I'm really excited to see these fungals come down. They could change everything in this game if they were to land.
SOS coming out here now and wiping out that small Zerg force. Jaedong right now might be a little bit confused. Wow.
Can he bait the Phoenixes? Can he bait the Phoenixes back? If he baits them back in, he gets
beautiful.
That is not as many as he wanted, but that is a start at least. The thing is, SOS is going to be a lot more careful in the future.
All right, missed Phoenix, the fungal there. And now an engagement. Archon's hitting these infestors, and right now the Muta's taking some damage from those Archons as well.
Uh-oh, all of the Mutas are going to go down, but the Lings will clean up the ground army. Oh no, Burrow, it doesn't look like he's going to get away with the infestors.
But he might be able to pick off the 3rd base here. That's a lot of Zerglings. There's not too much helping and surrounding it.
He has an Archon coming up here now. The Void Race coming up as well. Phoenix is rapidly picking up each individual Zergling. There may be just enough Protoss here in defense to save that Nexus.
And there are so many units streaming across the middle of the map as well.
Well, he does save the Nexus, but is he going to save it this time with that many Zerglings coming down? In fact, it looks like Jaedong is going to run into the main on the Zelda. Oh, beautiful warp in by SOS.
Incredible. That could have been a game changer had he gotten into the main. Lings now again hitting this Nexus.
They've got the wraparound, Tasteless. They've got the wraparound on it.
And with that wraparound, they're going to be able to probably take this Nexus out. So many cannons being warped in. But again, the story is that Jaedong doesn't know about this base right up there. Jaedong is eventually going to end up expanding to that location and then finding out that he has been, well, part of a ruse all along.
You know what? I don't know that that expansion is actually going to be enough with 15 infestors on the way, as well as mass Zerglings, as well as Ultralisk upgrades. This army is so scary.
It's so strong.
If he can get in there and just destroy the bottom right, I mean, you can, in a sense, as far as stuff you have to kill off, if you look at the upper left, as long as the bottom right, where all the stuff is produced from, is killed, yeah, Jaedong absolutely wins.
14 corruptors.
Wow.
This is quite the air army.
And you can see that with the turtling so heavily here from SOS, I mean, that's great and all, but it's the Phoenixes, they're allowing SOS to actually do any damage on the map, right? You know, these pickup queens, taking out drones. With all those corruptors, he can stop that immediately.
Well, we have a lot of Archons being made, and I do have to say that Archons are a good counter to Lings and to Corruptors and to Mutas, so that's still going pretty well for SOS.
And I think Jaedong agrees with you. He's added on 7 roaches here, which is going to be a lot better against these Archons than the Zerglings will. But it really feels that Jaedong is increasing his upgrades, and he is starting to build an army to take a fight soon.
Now, we did see those infestors getting burrowed. He may be moving out here. to try to get a fungal of any of this bunched up army, or even dumping a bunch of infested Terrans here and then running in with the rest of his army.
You're really smart, Tasteless. If he's able to grab these units, that's a good start.
Oh, and it looks like he's going to get a lot of them, but some of them do get picked up. The Corruptor's coming in from the side. Storm going down. A lot of infested Terrans as well.
And it looks like he might be able to get all of these infestors and he can just chase them down. The Corruptors are wiping out everything in the air, but the Protoss ground army is so dominant, warping in here at this pylon.
It looks like Jaedong does have to retreat once again, but he is maxed out. He still has a reasonable bank, and even going into Greater Spire now.
And he's able to keep 10 of the 15 infestors alive. Together with the Roaches, they are almost the best, the ultimate army against Zealot Archon. Landing the fungals, preventing the charged Zealots from moving forward, keeping the Archons away from doing damage. If he's able to land the correct fungals with the infestors left over and come in with the Roaches, even the corruption spell from the Corruptors, it would be such an amazing fight for him.
And this might be the perfect time to attack here for Jaedog, because SOS is trying to sneak that 5th base up here. Nice fungal! Beautiful infested Terrans raining down Storm to follow that up. But this may be just too much. The chain fungals can punish the Zealots so easily.
Roaches have pretty big umbrellas, Tasteless. They're surviving the storms and they're pushing forwards.
He's now going to close in here on the would-be 3rd base, keeping SOS under control. By the way, supplies right now, SOS at 107 to Jaedong being maxed out.
SOS is in some trouble now. Jaedong just has so many bases. He's hit a unit composition that's working out. And look at this, SOS going up here, finding all of these spine crawlers, and he's going to lose the rest of his army.
Yeah, he's going to lose the rest of the army. And as Jaedong may be sensing right now, SOS is losing control of this game. Jaedong is pushing forward. He didn't let this landslide happen. It isn't looking like a 0-3 at the moment. It is looking like Jaedong can potentially win this next map.
And that is exactly what he needs, because as we said before, if you're down 0-3 in a best of 7, the odds of you coming back are pretty slim.
Oh, he's trying to get something done with that War Prism, adding a Robo, another Robo at the moment, getting Blink. I don't know that any of this is really going to help out, though, because we could see a gigantic switch into Broodlords at any moment.
Yeah, look at the amount of money that Jaedong has banked up once again. Very similar to game number 1. He has a lot of options.
You know, this game is really a testament to how good Jaedong is, because despite still not knowing about this 3rd base in the upper left, he still has managed to just pound away at SOS and keep his options limited.
You know, this has to be a shocking wake-up call for SOS, who took the first 2 games in such glorious fashion, to come in here, hide his base, it never gets found, and Jaedong is crushing it.
And 7 Broodlords are on the way now. What really anti-air do we have left? Let me just go over the composition. 13 Zealots, don't shoot up. 2-3 Immortals, don't shoot up. And he's only got a couple of Storm Tasteless. He doesn't have anything.
These Broodlords are going to come in here like the Langoliers and eat through the remainder of SOS's base.
Archon's on the way. Those aren't going to help. He's never going to get there because we have a lot of fungals with these Broodlords.
And Jaedong has built an army which may not be answered for here. With 7 Stalkers, emergency anti-airs coming in, but with the fungal coming down on the Stalkers, they're not going to go anywhere.
He's continuing to move forward right now. SOS just trying to hang on in any possible way. The Broodlord's still positioned so well. The Stalker's now pushing up. Can SOS hang on?
The Storm flank really did help out quite a bit, but SOS is not even making anything at the moment, and 28 Mutas on the way.
Jaedong wants to end this with his trademark move that he has made throughout the World Championship Series, the Flying V, the flock of Mutalisks. 37 Mutalisks!
And he'd be making 16 more if he wasn't maxed out.
And these Mutas are going to come in here, and that is just, you can't stop this now. From all corners of the Zerg-owned section of the map, the Mutas are going to fly in, and Protoss has already been knocked back into the Stone Age at this point in time. I mean, you can't get an answer to this.
Watch this, Tasteless, as these Mutalisks enter the base. SOS is going to go, oh no! He's got nothing to do with it!